Hey YouTube, if you like the video, please like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, comment down below. I would really very much appreciate it. And here we go. So D.A.R.E is going against Euphoria for promoting, for them, they say that it promotes drug use in the show. So we're gonna see what their response is, and let's see if they're right about this or if they're wrong. But before we get started, I'd like to say I do watch the show Euphoria. I'm all caught up now in the second season. And I would like to say I enjoy the show a lot. Not like one of my favorite shows or one of the greatest shows of all time, like a lot of people think it is. But I still really, really enjoy it. I like the characters. I like the cinematography. It's beautiful. I love especially the soundtrack. The songs they use, like they use the Barges, Rhythm of the Night, fantastic. The new season, they put up Hit 'Em Up and shit. Really like it. Really like the soundtrack to the show as well. But also, I like to say, the first episode of the second season, there's no spoilers in this, but the first episode I really enjoyed. I really liked that, especially the ending with what happened in the ending. I really liked it. I was like, oh shit, I can't wait for the second episode. Second episode comes along, and I'm just like, it's okay. That episode was okay. It actually, like, dropped me down to, it wasn't anything too wrong. It just didn't anything hype up for me. I didn't have anything hyped up. But then the third episode came along, and I'm like, God damn, that shit is amazing. Yeah, the third episode of the second season is definitely my favorite episode so far of this whole season. So it's going on pretty strong, and hopefully it stays like that. Let's read this article right here. So a representative for D.A.R.E tells TMZ, rather than further each parent's desire to keep their children safe from their potentially horrific consequences of drug abuse and other high-risk behavior, HBO's television drama Euphoria chooses to misguidedly glorify and unanimously depict high school student drug use, addiction, anonymous sex, violence, and other destructive behaviors as common and widespread in today's world. Just to give you an example of how dark the show is, Zendaya character Rue actually almost ODs during an episode of the season, and ironically takes even more drugs to prevent it. And yes, it shows in graphic detail and is as much as sex and other taboo topics tackled in the series. The EPs have said their approach to the series, the approach to all of this is honest, which is true because I saw like the showrunner, and the reasons why he presents the way of the show, and the reason why he gives is that a lot of people take drugs, and a lot of people who don't take drugs just say, why do you take drugs? Just say no, just like D.A.R.E says. But when it comes to people taking drugs, you got to know that when they take drugs, a lot of the drugs, even though drugs do end up harming them for the long run, the short-term effect is that they actually do relieve some stress for the person. And little by little, they actually add more stress onto the person, and the person is slowly, like, tearing everything down around them. They push their loved ones away. They make the loved ones, like, hate them, and shit like that. That's what the showrunner said, and something I actually do believe him. It just shows, and that's why I feel like the show actually doesn't glorify drug use and violence and all that, because it actually shows when it comes to Rue and how her drug use, it shows how, like, it fucking tears down everybody, and like it actually hurts her life and hurts people around her. But D.A.R.E says otherwise, adding, it is unfortunate that HBO social media, television program reviewers, and paid advertisement had chosen to refer to the show as groundbreaking, rather than recognizing the potential negative consequences on school-age children who today face unparalleled risk and mental health challenges. And over here also says that now D.A.R.E isn't just here to criticize, they say that they actually want to collaborate to help send the right messages to real-life kids. We would welcome the opportunity for our team, including members of the high school-aged youth advocacy board, to meet the individuals at HBO who are involved with producing Euphoria to present our concerns directly. And if I was the showrunners, I would just say, fuck you, and just close the door on it. I just wouldn't entertain D.A.R.E at all. And the reason why for this is because I looked up D.A.R.E's position and actually saw that overall, D.A.R.E and the D.A.R.E campaigns actually failed. And it failed super, super hard. Because when it comes to anti-drug campaigns, honestly, it really might be the best policy. There's a fine line to walk between conveying the risk of and exaggeration of dangers of drugs. Various studies show D.A.R.E, for example, failed to significantly reduce drugs use amongst participants. For many participants of D.A.R.E, the program's failure likely come as little surprise. Teams were simply too good at catching and dismissing clear exaggerations about the detrimental health effects and of relatively harmless drugs like marijuana and help discredit D.A.R.E's overall efforts. Even after D.A.R.E reworked its curriculum in 2001, one of the program's now deleted fact sheets claimed marijuana has no medical value, weakens the immune system, and causes insanity and lung disease. Claims that are widely disputed by health experts. So as you can see, they are pretty much big liars, just like PETA. I feel like they're just the drug equivalent of PETA, And I actually looked up over here about their policy over here, and this came out in February 2018. So it's actually what they believe of marijuana. Pretty much relatively now. This is pretty much relatively recent, not like 2022 as the year of the Lord that we are in today. But let's see if their values or their opinions changed on marijuana as much as they did before. D.A.R.E America is a nonprofit organization dedicated to our mission of teaching students good decision-making skills to help them lead safe and healthy lives. As taught in our curricula, we believe it is neither safe nor healthy for students, all children under the age of 18, to use marijuana. The science of the subject is clear. The use of marijuana by youth has dangerous and unhealthy consequences on many levels. Now, I'd like to say, if you are under the age of 18, you probably shouldn't, smoke weed. You shouldn't drink alcohol. You shouldn't do other types of drugs. I can't stop you because I'm right here and I'm out of school, but you probably shouldn't do it overall. So I kind of agree with this right here. If you're under the age of 18, you probably shouldn't smoke that shit. But additionally, several studies have documented the significant negative consequences of legalization. Okay, including, because now here goes where I clearly and very much disagree with them, because I am pro legalizing marijuana, and on the whole United States, because there's many factors. A, it does help with medical situations, and B, it can actually reduce people going to prisons. So I like that. Less people going to prisons. I really like that. And C, less people going to prisons. Less people of color, which people of color sadly are a lot of big reasons why we go to prison is because we have marijuana. So that actually cut that down. And hopefully, if it actually does become legalized, the people who are in prisons, they can actually get out and get free for having carried marijuana in the past. So this is what they claim if you legalize marijuana, you claim increased legal use of marijuana by minors. Now I was like, is that true? So I looked it up. I looked up right here. Will the legalization of weed increase usage in minors? Now I looked it up right here. Marijuana legalization doesn't lead to increased youth use. American Medical Association finds your youth marijuana does not increase after the states enact legalization for medical or recreational use. The researchers concluded in a study published in a prominent scientific journal on Tuesday. But this came out 2021, so they could change their mind. Who knows? But I probably wouldn't. If back in 2001 and it came out 2018, they barely changed their opinions. 2018 to 2021, 3 years apart, probably wouldn't have changed their opinion that much. So this is just straight up wrong. So increased traffic accidents and traffic deaths as a result of driving under the influence of marijuana. Now this one is probably true. I didn't really want to look it up because I can actually see that being true in the case, because when you start legalizing something, a lot of people are actually going to use that when you're driving under the influence. If you don't drive under the influence of anything, you drive under the influence of alcohol, don't do it. But I think this is a weak argument as well because we don't, a lot of people drive under the influence of alcohol, but we're not banning alcohol. We shouldn't ban alcohol, so we shouldn't ban marijuana in this case. So increase emergency room visits with marijuana-related overdoses. Now, this is straight up wrong. No one has ever overdosed on marijuana. No one, not a single person. But also over here it says increased number of hospitalizations from the use of marijuana. So they pretty much put in the same thing twice. So that actually got me curious. Do people actually go to the hospital for marijuana? And I looked it up over here that actually some people actually do go into marijuana, but it's way more nuanced than what they actually put up on on there and says, we cannot conclusively say that marijuana has caused an increase to visits into the emergency room. Rather, data show that more people are arriving at the hospitals having recently or habitually used cannabis, even if that's not their primary condition or related at all to their primary condition. Through it seems plausible that impaired judgment or slow reflexes might be the culprit. It is impossible to say how often it is true, and it's from a political fact article right here. So it's very much up to interpretation, or just like there's many scientific data that goes either way. So this is not really that true. It's like more of a half truth, if you know what I'm saying. And an increased risk of addiction and use of other lethal drugs. The National Institutes of Health reports 1 out of 6 every adolescents who try drug will develop an addiction. But now this is kind of true, but also kind of false at the same time. I looked it up, and they say that if you're a minor and if you do drugs while you're a minor, you do have a more likelihood of doing other more harmful drugs in your future, you know. But if you're an adult and you smoke weed, it's very, very unlikely that you used any other lethal drug other than that. So this is, again, a half truth. So we got a half truth over here, we got half truths over here, and then we got one truth right here, and then one complete false one right here. So that's pretty much what we have here, and that's reason why we shouldn't listen to D.A.R.E, and D.A.R.E sucks, and D.A.R.E needs to get the fuck out of here. And there is a failure, you know. They got +L ratioed, you know, over their whole fucking career because of these stupid exaggerations here. Because if you just put up a half truth, everybody's gonna look at that as a complete lie. Even though if it is a half truth, most people will look at it as a complete lie. So there you go. So that's the whole situation with Euphoria. Please, if you haven't watched the show, please watch the show. Or, you know, it's on HBO Max. If you don't have the money to pay for HBO Max, I know it's a struggle out there for a lot of people, you know. But it's a very, very good show, and I really, really like it. But yeah, it's completely wrong about this entire situation, and they're actually, I think, actually more contributed to more minors using drugs than actually the opposite. So I think it has it's at best case scenario, they're actually put out a net neutral. At worst case scenario, they actually put out a net negative. So we need to get D.A.R.E out of here. Just don't listen to D.A.R.E at all. This is trash, garbage. Get the fuck out of here. We don't care about you. We don't like you. So that's a whole situation going on with D.A.R.E versus Euphoria. If you like the video, please like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, comment down below. I would very much appreciate it.